single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my
Guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Chalo the Fashion Fairy. If you're just stopping by for the first time, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. In today's tutorial, we'll be teaching you how to make a shift dress, and I've gone ahead to mark all my vertical measurements from my shoulder to my bust, my shoulder to my waist to my hip, and of course my shoulder to the length of my gown. This is dependent on you. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I will be using the measurements of the client I am working with. So her shoulder measurement is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, and I'm going to add ½ inch to it to make it 8 inches, and I'm going to mark same on my bust line, which is also known as my chest line. Having sorted that out, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4 inches. So bust measurement divided by 4 inches, and I'm going to add 3 inches to that. So this is highly dependent on you. If you don't want your shift dress to have a lot of room, you can reduce this to 2.5 inches, but I decided to make this 3 inches, so I'll have enough room, or she will have enough room in her dress. So for the neckline, I used 4 inches width and 4 inches length. Then I marked 1 inch from this side, and I made a box like so, and I connected this and formed my neckline. So here I'm just going to mark 1 inch down to form my shoulder slope, and I'm measuring 3 inches, and I'm just going to connect it. I do this so I can avoid excess on the shoulder. So I'm going to do my back and front at the same time. So that was my back neckline that I marked. So dividing my armhole length into 2, I'm going to measure 3/4 from that point, and I'm just going to connect it to my bust measurement. So that's for the front, and this is for the back armhole. So the waist measurement, I'm still going to do the same thing I did for the bust measurement, and that is to divide the waist measurement by 4, and whatever I have, I'm going to add 3 inches to that. So I'm going to add 3 inches to all my measurements, all my horizontal measurements. And like I said, this is totally up to you. You can decide to make the waist 4 inches, like you can add 4 inches to the waist instead of 3 if you want it a bit freer. So it's all dependent on you. So this is what you're going to be doing to all your horizontal measurements. You're going to be adding 3 inches, and we're just going to connect it like so. So whatever you have on the hip line, this is exactly what you'll be measuring on the length of your gown. So I'm just going to use a straight line and connect it from the hip line to the length. So because I do not want the waist to be too shapy, I decided to come out by 1 inch, and I connected it back so that I would eliminate that sharp waist. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the back first. Don't forget to cut the back first. So I'm cutting the back first. So I'm just going to use this pattern to cut the back, and then I'll trim out the front. So this is me cutting through the back neckline, the back armhole, and then the length. The length is the same, the body is the same. Okay, having sorted this out, I'm just going to use this and cut my back. Don't forget to add your hemming allowance. I use 2 inches for this. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to quickly notch the midpoint, as I'll be using it later on in this project. So I've cut out the back, and then I'm just going to quickly cut the front neckline and the front armhole as well. Yes, and we're almost done with this, guys. This is what we have so far. We have the back and we have the front. So something I like to do before I proceed in my project, I always like to mark out where I'll be placing my pockets. So if you're not using pockets for this project, you should totally skip this step. But because I want to add pockets, I'm just going to measure from my shoulder. I'm going to measure about 19 inches from my shoulder. So this is me trying to get it to the other side as well. And then I'm just going to notch these points like so, and I'm going to notch the other one as well. And this is where I will be placing my pocket. So having sorted that out, I am just going to quickly cut my sleeve, measuring what I have as my armhole circumference. This will enable me mark out my sleeve. So putting my material on fold, I'm just going to determine the length of my sleeve. This is totally up to you, but whatever you choose as your sleeve length, you're just going to measure the circumference around that area, and it will guide you in constructing your sleeve. So I decided to use 2 inches as well for my allowance, my hemming allowance for my sleeve. So that is what I'm marking, the actual length, which is this, and then the hem allowance, which is this. So I'm just going to measure 5 inches down as my cap height, and I'm just going to use the circumference that I measured out from my armhole, and I'll make sure I have that here. So I measured 8 inches here, and I made sure the rest of the measurements will fall into place like so. So I'll just curve this out. I'm using freehand method for this, no form of pattern, because it's not every time you use pattern to cut, guys. So this is me drawing out the front armhole. The front armhole is usually deeper than the back, so the difference between both is just ½ inch. So at this point right here, I use the round circumference measurement of where the sleeve stopped, and I marked it right here, and I added an extra 1 inch to that, connected that straight down. So like that, we've actually finished up with our sleeve. This is pretty simple, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. So I like to fold in my sleeve like so that when I'm done cutting it out, I wouldn't have any loss at the hemline. So this is how I fold it and I cut it out. So I'm going to use this, and I am going to cut the other sleeve as well. Remember, you need 2 sleeves for this project. So this is what I have so far. You can see we are not losing any fabric by the side. So I'll use this and cut out my other sleeve quickly. Make sure you align them very well. If not, you'll end up with one sleeve bigger than the other one, and we don't want that, guys. Okay, we're done with the sleeves. We're just going to go ahead with the facing. So for the neckline, I will be using a facing to turn the neckline. So I'll just go ahead and trace out the neckline like so. I want to have an opening in front of my dress, but this is totally up to you. So if you don't want this, you can go ahead and leave it. So the opening should be about 8 inches, so I'll be marking about 10 inches for this facing, and I will show you how to curve it out. Here I just marked 3 inches and I connected it like so. This is how your facing is going to look like. So I'm just going to quickly cut this off. This is for the front. So this is what it looks like so far, guys. and I'm just going to place it on top, and I'll show you what to do later on in the video. So I'd like to notch the midpoint as always, because it will enable me match all my notches. Sorry. So I'm marking my midpoint, and I'm also marking the midpoint of my neckline as well. And I'm just going to quickly set this aside and move over to the back. So this is my back, guys. I'm just going to do exactly what I did to the front, to the back as well. Put my fabric on fold, put this on fold, and I'll trace it out and do it like so. So I'll do that quickly off camera, and we'll come back and see you guys. Yay. Okay, so we're done with that, and this is my front. So I'm just going to quickly match the two notches together like so. So on that midpoint, I'm just going to draw a straight line. I like to do this so that when I'm sewing, I will know to follow the straight line. So I'll be sewing like so, and here I'm just going to mark a V at this point, and I am just going to sew beside it as well. So this is how to do it. So I'm just showing you the lines that I'll follow when I am sewing. So I'll sew to this point, to that point as well, and I'm going to use my interlocking machine to do my edges. Don't worry, I'll show you in details later. Okay, so this is the back. I'm just going to hem it like so. I'm going to fold it all the way. You can use a bias strip to do this. This is totally optional. I just wanted to, it's usually very easy for me to do this. So, but if this is not easy for you, kindly use a bias strip to turn the back. So for the sleeve, we're just going to quickly trace out the front, because we used the back to cut it earlier. So we're just going to trace out that ½ inch from the sleeve. Yes, so this part that I just traced out is going to be the front of my sleeve. So this will be for this side, and this will be for the other side of my sleeve. Okay, I'll be using this ribbon later in this video to tidy up my back. This is also optional. You can use a button, you can use bias, you can use whatever you want to finish up your neckline. But for this project, I'm going to be using this ribbon to hem it, and I'm going to leave it to drop down so I can tie it behind, or rather my client can tie it behind. So I've gone ahead to put in my pockets. There's a dedicated video on how to put this pocket, which I am going to post later on in the week. Please do not miss it, so that you will learn in details how to do this. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I've gone ahead to do my facing for the front. You remember this line that we made earlier? We're going to be cutting on that line, and just watch carefully, guys. Once you get there, you move your scissors and you cut to this side, and you move it and you cut to this side as well. This will enable it sit pretty, and it will not be moving. This is a trick I learned a long time ago, and I have been using it forever, and it's been working for me. So don't forget to notch your neckline to allow it sit pretty. Snip out all those ends to make it pointy. And so far, this is what we have. This is what we have so far. So we're just going to turn this inside out, bringing out those pointy points. Okay, and when we're done with this, we're just going to quickly take it to our ironing table, and we're going to iron it down. If you've been on this channel so long, you will know that I usually use hemming gum to hem my neckline so that they will sit. I don't like my necklines moving up and down, so I'm going to use that as well for this project. So for the back, like I said earlier, I'm going to be using this to hem the back neckline. This is totally optional. You can use bias strip for this. So if you're still here, guys, and you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly support me by subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos. I post new tutorials every week, so you don't want to miss out on any of my amazing tutorials. If you have any video requests, don't forget to drop it in the comment section, and I will be glad to oblige your request. So this is how I pin it from one end to the other, like so, and I'm going to make a stitch line and I will turn it like so. So this is how it will be, so that this will be hanging. I'll be using this to be tying the back. I'll do the same to the other side of this neckline. So I've gone ahead to also hem the lower part, and I'll go ahead and attach the shoulders so that I can attach my sleeve. So I'll just quickly do that and come back. And this is my sleeve. So the first thing you would want to do is to hem your sleeve. So remember, we put 2 inches there, so whatever allowance you've put for your hemming, you're going to take the same in. So you're going to fold it back in. So I like my hem to be a bit large, so that's why I take as much as 2 inches, but if you can work with 1/2 inch, that's fine. So you're just going to fold that in and sew it all the way to the other side. Yes, so machine problems. Bear with me, guys. Okay, I'm just going to quickly finish this, if this machine will allow me. Okay, I'm just going to quickly finish this up and do same to the other sleeve, and then we are good to go. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. I'll worry you until you subscribe. Really worry you. Okay, so this is how I get this done, and once I'm done, I'm just going to attach it to this, my beautiful shift dress, and then this is the last step. So after this, we'll be done with this project. I'd like to know if you try this out. Please let me know if you do. I'm on Instagram. You can tag me on Instagram, and I also have a sewing group on Facebook, Ocello Sewing Club. You can also tag me there, send it to me, and I'll post it. So using the exact sewing allowance I added, I'm just going to seal the sides of the sleeves up. Yes, and then we are done. Yay! Then we are done. Okay, please remember to attach the right sleeve to the right side. Remember, the front is always deeper than the back, so you make sure that the side you're attaching is the proper side. Check and then double check. So this is how I'm going to do this to this sleeve, and I'm going to just fix it all the way around, and I'll do the same for this other side as well. So wait, guys, you're going to see the finished product right now. So this is what we have so far. I've gone ahead to also hem the sides with my interlocking machine. If you have a zigzag machine, you can also use that to clean up the inside. Also use my hemming web to do the neckline, and you can see the inside is very neat. So this is what I expect the inside of your project to look like, guys. So this is what we have so far. So thank you for watching my tutorial. I can't wait to see you in my next project. Don't forget to make your requests so that the next video might just be your request. So this is the finished product on my mannequin. Sorry I couldn't wear this, guys. Like I said, it's not mine. So this is what we have as the finished product. So beautiful, so neat. You would not even know that I put pockets. Don't forget to iron your project. See you in my next tutorial. I love you for watching. Bye.